All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, welcome on in, everybody. NorCal Sports Network, and the Warriors lose another, and the season starts all over
on the brink.
They're back to ground zero, 15 and 15. Yep. Well, I guess you can look at it two ways, guys. You can look at it that they wasted all those wins, or they banked some wins. So when they face some trouble, they're now 15 and 15, and they're not 10 and 20. You can look at it that way.
Yeah, real quick on that. That is, I do see it. I don't see it just like that, but there's also a third way, as that we built ourselves some cushion that if the team did fall apart and the 12-man lineup stopped working, which it has, and all these things kind of fell apart, at least it gives the team, they still know, like, the ownership. And when I say the team, I mean the ownership. And, Bay Area fans, we know ownership means a lot, especially with teams like the Giants. And, you see. But anyways, I think it at least shows the start of the season that this team can be competitive, just if depending on, who's playing and the right pieces there.
Yeah.
And that's, this was I was texting, you saw my text. This game was a huge range of emotions. And I think, it really, you can talk a little bit more about it, but I really think it kind of was the Warriors season in a nutshell.
Yeah. Hey, before we get any further, let me thank our sponsor, Chapman Law Group. Check out Chapman Law Group. Any legal needs you might have, give them a call, 415-613-9483. They can help you out. Tell them NorCal Sports Network sent you. All right. This team, I mean, they were pretty much like 2 minutes left to go in the first half, and they were right there. They were tied or had a lead by a point or two, and then Clippers hit two late threes to close out the half, and then they jumped them right out of the gate in the third quarter, and Warriors got behind by 15 quickly, and then it was 19, and then they made that late run in the fourth quarter. As somebody said in the comments there, I think it was G. Martinez, they got within three. I think it was like, I don't know, what was it, 90 to 87, something like that, whatever it was. But let's just take a quick peek at the box score. Jonathan Kuminga goes for 34, a career high.
Yep.
And Trace Jackson Davis played a pretty good game, 15 points.
Yep.
And
he's been looking really good ever since Schroeder's come. I think that's actually been a huge boost for him because he looks for him a lot. I know Schroeder didn't have a good game, but he looks for him a lot. And I think that's why TJD had a better season last year, was because he had CP3 and Clay who were looking for him a lot. Clay, actually, they had a good two-man game. So I think it's been good. I don't know if you've noticed that, but ever since we made that trade, Schroeder hasn't been super good for us offensively, but TJD's been averaging like 12 to 15.
Yeah, looks awful on his shots, man. His
shots way off, but I thought overall the starters, they were all really bad. I don't know why Kuminga didn't start. Didn't you think that was, or did he start? No,
he didn't start. He played most minutes of 37 minutes.
Most minutes. That's why I was looking. I was like, wait, I knew he was in the game, but he didn't start.
Look at those free throws, though.
It's weird.
11 of 14 from the free throw line. He had 10 boards. So he was
– the rebounding lately has been great. I mean, if you look at his last, 5 games, he's been rebounding a lot.
Here's the thing they got to do, in my opinion, with Jonathan Kuminga, is run the offense through Kuminga, let him drive, and if no one collapses on him, he could take it to the hoop, get fouled, or, lay it up. If they collapse, Steph, and whether, I would put maybe, I don't know who they don't have enough really good three-point shooting. Buddy Hield has really fallen off. Buddy's seeming to be only hitting his threes now when he's open. He's not hitting where he's sidestepping and moving and hitting his shot. They need to go do something. And I think Cam Johnson would be a great addition he's a scorer. He can hit the three. He's got some length to him. I think Cam Johnson, but the problem is if you're going to get Cam Johnson, you're probably giving up Kuminga. So I'm not sure if they just need to either play
Johnson you could get Cam Johnson without giving Kuminga up if you gave some ones. That would be, basically what you'd have to give a one and, probably a Pods and then another, another good player.
Yeah, maybe
I think you could get Cam Johnson without giving Kuminga up. I do. I think you just would have to give them a first round pick, which is, not what the Warriors are super looking into.
Hey, Logan, if you're out there, I got a hat for you, man. Look at that, man. I'm your number one fan, Logan. Look at that. Logan Webb with his number. There we go. 62. All right. So I think this team has to make some moves quickly or this is going to fall apart.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It is going to fall apart on them.
100%.
They have lost something like 12 of 15 now.
That's right.
Actually, you know what? They were 3-12. Now they're
3-13.
They were 13 they were 12-3. Now they're 3-12. Flipped it.
Yeah. Yep.
They started off their first 15, 12-3. Their last 15, they're 3-12. That is the definition of a San Francisco Giants-like team.
Tommy says season is over. It's really not, Dan. Let's pull up the standings because I know a lot of Warriors fans. And, we're in the Bay Area right now, and it's been kind of rough for Bay Area fans and Bay Area sports. So I get having that mindset. But the West is really, Tommy, if you look at the standings, the West we're lucky. There's been a lot of injuries, and there's only been 3 teams that have really pulled away. So I think the Mavs will be that 4th team. I do. So I think it will be 4 teams. But if you actually look at the standings, got a lot of teams right where the Warriors are at right now. A lot of teams. Yeah, let's pull it up right here. Here we go. So we're 15 and 15
these haven't
now.
been updated. They haven't been updated.
Yeah,
Let me see if we can get it up. Let me see if we can get nope, still not updated.
That's fine. The Warriors are 15 and 15. So they're 10th they're 10th with Phoenix.
They're 11th. They're 11th.
They're 11th. It's the same record though, Dan. They play tomorrow. We'll see who wins.
Yeah. They'll
have the same record as Phoenix at 15 and 15. It doesn't really the point's the same. If you look at
I saw that San Antonio was 16 and 15. I didn't see Phoenix down there, but tomorrow night after they lose to Phoenix, they'll be a game behind. I don't think they'll beat Phoenix. They could.
I think they beat Phoenix.
They could with Curry and Green rested.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. This team has a lot of holes, though. I'm seeing too many holes. They can't score consistently.
There's a lot of holes, but I think against Phoenix at home, I think that's a good matchup. I think it was good that they arrested Steph and Draymond. We'll see. I think either way, though, let me just finish my point. My point about the standings, Tommy, is that, a lot of the teams in the West are bunched up. If you look at basically if we go through the Lakers all the way down to the Phoenix Suns, including the Warriors, all those teams are either 4 games above 500 or 500. So you go on a 3-game win streak, you're right there in the 5th seed. So it's not actually super bad, but the team is reeling. I do think the season can be getting close to getting over, depending on how the next 10 to 15 games go here, I would say.
Bill, thank you for the donation. You won't even believe the S I just heard on KMBR. JD said, essentially, we need to trade Jonathan Kuminga because he can only score when Curry and Green are out. Said JK can't play with them, so he has to go. Well, the only thing I would say to that is maybe you might want to trade Green, who's like at the end of his career. Jonathan Kuminga is like 23 years old. Draymond Green is 35 and has very little upside going forward. I would think I would rather move off of Draymond Green. Why is the Bay Area so doggone stubborn with keeping all aging stars that are losing in production? We look at it with the 49ers with Debo, and we see guys like Hargrave and guys that are just like older and have passed their prime, and they want to pay these guys. And just because Green has gone to the finish line, I'm kind of getting tired of Draymond's shtick. Okay. Get off your stinking podcasts and play basketball. You're spending more time in the media. And you know what? And then his clown move the other night against the Lakers, pulling guys under their arm and then jumping up and pulling them down.
You didn't like the WWE move?
I mean, that was just like ridiculous. What is he thinking? I mean, that's like a guy that is not clear-headed. It's just, I don't know. I'm not keeping Draymond Green because Kuminga can't play with him. Dude, Kuminga's got the upside. You either try it without him.
Yeah, I think it's got to be sorry to cut you off. I think with Kuminga, I'll just go on my real quick thing about JD. I respect JD a lot. I think a lot of people with Kuminga are trying to have him adapt too much, where actually now we need to adapt to him because he's a really good scorer. And I think if Steve Kerr said, hey, guys, hey, Steph, I think we need to run the offense through Kuminga here. You should play a little more shooting guard. Kuminga can play a little bit more point forward and, basically be playing the role of Draymond, but, actually able to score and finish the play. So
if you do that, Ryan, if you have JK out on the top of the circles, between the circles, and he's running the point forward, the offense, we saw tonight, you cannot stop him. And that was
what I'm saying. He's unstoppable.
And that was without
you have to foul
any.
him.
Let me finish. That was without any shooters on the floor. You put Steph out there and Kuminga, there are not going to be many guys collapsing. If you notice tonight, 2-3 guys tried to stop Kuminga because they're just going to let those guys shoot. But if Curry's out there and they're going to either collapse or Kuminga's going to take it all the way to the rack and get fouled or score. And if not, they're going to pass it out, kick it out to Steph for an open three. And then you can play the pick and roll game with them as well. But got to get Kuminga the ball. He's an alpha. He has to have the ball in his hands because nobody can stop him physically.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Mark makes another good point. That was the rant I was about to go on. I'm going a little 1-minute monologue. But basically, the issue right now, I think there's a huge oh, sorry. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. There's a huge issue right now between the Warriors players knowing their role and Steve Kerr knowing those players' role. And I think, Lou's talked about it a bunch when he's been on. But there really needs to be a team meeting where it's like, okay, you guys, this is your role on the team. Kuminga, you're the 1A, 1B, whatever it is. I think it should be a 1A, 1B thing. When Steph's the 1A, Kuminga's the 1B, but you run the offense through Kuminga. Obviously, end the game, Steph's going to get the shots. Steph's going to run the offense. But I do think, you got to do that. I just think Steve Kerr right now, and, a lot of people have said it on a lot of different shows, I just think he's kind of all over the place, and there's just zero consistency. Until we find some consistency, it's just going to be, I think, hard for the team to get back on track, because I think that was good at the beginning of the season when you had everyone fresh, but now that people are not fresh, you're not seeing the same results.
Right now, they're on pace for 41-41, Lou. Yikes.
Yeah, but there's moves to be made. This ain't the Giants. This ain't the Niners ownership. Joe Lacob is, a Steve Cohen, Steve Ballmer type. He's a very aggressive owner. He's not gonna want this team to.
He's gonna have to move quick. He's not gonna be able to wait till mid-January.
He moves quick. I mean, you saw him get Schroeder one day before he could even do it. I mean, he's gonna do.
I don't know. Kuminga's value just went up tonight. People could see.
I don't think he wants to move Kuminga, but I think you can, like I said, I think you can get Cam Johnson, and we can pull up the trade machine if you want. I think you can get Cam Johnson without trading Kuminga. I don't think you have to. And you don't even need to get a Cam Johnson.
I'd trade Draymond straight up. I'd trade Draymond straight up, but I don't think you're
There's
gonna have
other
to give up
players
a
I'd be
lot of
there's other
picks.
players I'd be interested in. I mean, I'd like even, adding like a Robert Williams to this team for some, that's not a huge move, but I think that does add a couple wins. I think, they're gonna do something here, and I think
Yeah, I
if
had a
we
trade put
can
together. I had 2 trades that I put together the other night, guys. And those trades, let me see if I can find them on my phone here, because what they were would have put the Warriors. Now, I don't think it's going to happen now because Mike Brown was fired the other night. And when I heard him in the presser go on for 6 minutes, throwing all of his players, and especially De'Aaron Fox, under the bus, I said, Brown's getting fired or Fox is getting traded soon. And they did not hesitate. Brown was fired, probably didn't even leave the arena before he was fired after those comments, because you can't. He just basically blamed the players for not fouling with. So that was bad. But here's the trades, guys. Here's the trades that I was proposing, and this would be, you go get De'Aaron Fox. What I was going to do is trade Draymond Green and Dennis Schroeder, because that equals 37 million. And coming back would be 37 million, would be De'Aaron Fox. And to make the trade work, you'd have to get another player. So I threw in Alex Lynn for a big backup center to Davis. And the next trade was sending Buddy Hield, Kevon Looney, and Jonathan Kuminga for Cam Johnson, and to make the salary work, Jalen Wilson. I don't know if they would get rid of him or not. He's a young forward who's playing pretty good for his minutes. But what that would do, if you were able to do something like that, you could have 4 scorers on the court. You would have Wiggins, you would have Cam Johnson, and Trace Jackson Davis would be your 5, and then Curry and De'Aaron Fox would be the guards. How would you stop that team?
When is my guy coming back, who I want?
Oh, Murray?
Yeah.
I don't know when he's coming back. You have to look.
I'm looking it up right now. Injury status. Pull up that I'm telling you, I think that's a really realistic trade. I don't know if I think Fox was movable. I was with you on that before the Brown firing, but I think you're right that it was in an either or thing, Dan. So I don't think they're gonna move Fox now. Do you?
I don't think so. But if they don't start winning here without
maybe,
Brown,
yeah, maybe.
If they keep losing, they might move off of them.
That was definitely their first move, though. I think was
yeah. Bill says, "Oh, I hate to say you're wrong, but I think they want Kuminga out." I don't know who he's talking to. Maybe somebody in there.
Dejounte Murray injury status.
I do think they want Kuminga out too. Pretty sure they do. They like Kuminga when he's when he's the only one out there. But look, I don't think the Warriors are winning an NBA title the rest of Steph's career here at Golden State. So why would you run off unless you really get somebody big time? I mean, this is a weaker league this year, so anybody can win it because there's no dominant team. He's back now for New Orleans?
Yeah, let's get Dejounte right now.
Yeah, maybe they could.
He played today. He got 15 points yesterday.
Pelicans are 5-27. They're mailing it in. They're done.
I think it's time to get Dejounte. He had 15 assists on the 22nd and then 9 assists. Yes, dude, this dude's a real point guard too. Well, let's pull up the trade machine. Let's do it. It's a Friday night. Let's pull it up, guys. We need some hope. I've been preaching for Dejounte Murray for 2 seasons. He's a real defender and a real scorer. We can pull up his career stats. People don't know about Dejounte, but I mean, I'll pull it up right now.
He scored 20 points average the last 3 years.
Yeah, he's a 20-point. He's a Klay Thompson light, a much different player, but he gets you your 20 points, and he's an all-defensive player. He's made 2 all-defensive teams.
He makes almost $30 million a year, so that's going to take some moving. See, I would.
It's like a Fox type of move, but he's not the type of player, and you don't have to give up quite as much.
Well, Fox is 35 million, so there's even
That's what I'm
more.
saying. It's a type of salary, but not
to
as much.
move $30 million, you've got to either move several players. One is Schroeder, obviously, so that's 13. And then you could send Buddy back packing to New Orleans again. Maybe they take him. Okay, problem is Buddy's
I think what I would do is
4-year
trade,
deal.
I remember,
Buddy's got a 4-year deal.
We were looking at this the other day. The trade I would do for Dejounte was I don't know, we were talking on the phone. I would go we were looking at it. It was Schroeder. It was
You giving up Kuminga in this
Payton.
deal?
No, I didn't have hell no. It was Payton, Schroeder. That's 21. Who was the other
22. You need $7 million more.
I think we had didn't we have I think we
You'd
had
have to go.
Pods in
You'd
there.
have to go Looney or
Yeah, they're not going to give up. I don't want to give up Looney in this trade. I'd go with Pods. Let's get rid of Pods. Let's get rid of.
you'd have to go Pods, Waters, and Santos. That's what you'd have to do
You don't have to do that. You could
to
also
make
just
the
give up
salary match. To make the salary
No, you
match.
could also give up Kyle Anderson, and that's 2 players.
Well, no, if you just do Kyle, you're done.
That's what I'm saying.
3 players for 1.
Yeah, but they can make it work, basically.
Yeah, it works if you do this right
If you
here.
pull it up, we can't see it. I want to see the chat to see it. Yeah, and DeJounte Murray, guys, you're not going to have to give up a whole lot of ones. You're giving up 1-1. That's what the Pelicans gave up for DeJounte. They'd want another 1 back.
There you go. Schroeder, Payton and Anderson.
Let's try the trade.
It already did. It works.
What does it say? Do we get any wins, or is it just even?
No, it just doesn't affect anything.
What if we traded out instead of Kyle? You put in some other players. Let's see if we keep Kyle.
You'd have to put in a bunch of guys that equal 7 million, so that would be Pods.
No,
Waters,
it says Moody's
Santos.
tradable now.
Huh?
It says Moody's tradable now.
Let's see, 29. Look at that.
It shows that Moody's tradable now, though.
Yeah, it is. There you go.
There you go.
That's without Moody.
And we get 2 wins. There we go. Bam. Let's do it. Right there. I'll do it right now. You know what? This is a good trade, too, because it takes Pods out of Kerr's rotation.
Right. You are giving up 4
We're
guards.
getting 2 wins. They're getting 2 wins. Huh. They're getting 2 wins. We're losing a win.
Yeah.
So I like the Anderson trade better. Either way, we can make the trade work. I don't know. I'd probably do the Anderson one where it's 3 players and you're not giving up your whole guard lineup. But I'm just saying there's a bunch of different players we could make it work with.
You could try it like this. Let me see. I don't think Moody doesn't make it, but you could do you could do Moody. You could go Moody, and then you could do Santos probably, and I think that makes it.
Yep.
Sure does.
Oh,
makes it by 300,000.
Yep. I like this. This is what I would do, and then I would.
Then you're not giving up. You're not giving up.
And then
Pods.
I give him a 1. I give him a 1. I do this trade, and I give him a first-round pick.
Now did that change the? Nope, doesn't say anything.
That's
the trade
perfect.
failed. Wait a minute, the
Why?
trade failed. Why did it fail? 29.
They're over the tax.
It worked last time with the other guys. What is the reason? Pelicans used the exception there. Cut 749,000 from the Pelicans' incoming trade value. All right, let's try this here.
So you wouldn't do Santos, you do a cheaper player.
Well, he is the cheapest.
No, but some of these other guys make money too. It just doesn't show it. Like Quinnen gets like $1 million, and so does Pat. It's like you get a minimum salary. I just don't know. It doesn't show it for some reason.
I don't think if you do post, it works.
Yeah, well, that's just on the trade machine. They make money. I mean, I can look it up right now. I saw he got signed.
Yeah, but I don't think they count toward the
Tradable thing you're saying?
yeah.
Maybe. You could be right about that. Yeah, it says he makes $600,000 a year.
I wonder if it was because of Moody. Let me see if I just add Anderson to it. Boom. Try this trade. There you go.
There we go. Yeah, I'm cool with that too. Kyle doesn't even get played. I actually love this trade because then you're giving up no young assets. Give them a first-round pick in 2 seconds. What was it say for our win total? Nothing.
Doesn't change. Yeah, doesn't change.
I disagree though. I think Dejounte is better than Kyle, and
Lou
Kyle
is in Reno
plays.
right now. Lou is in Reno. He's on assignment. He is.
Don't you think that makes the team better though? If you give up those 3 players plus a 1, I mean, in some future seconds. Because think about it, Payton doesn't play much, and neither does Kyle. So you're basically trading like 2 players, not really 3.
Mark
they
Grace
play
says
they split time.
They don't want 3 years of slow-mo. Yeah, the Warriors got slow-mo for 3 years and healed for 4. Ugh.
No, I think Slow-Mo's a really good player. I'm not sold on Healed anymore, but Slow-Mo just doesn't get played. He looks good when he gets played, Dan. You've said that every time when he gets played, we've been happy.
I think he's okay. He's
not a
okay
great player,
for certain period of time, with spurts.
And you can trade that contract. He's not like, I don't think it's a bad contract.
No, it's not that much. What is he making?
It's a fillable It's like $7 million. It's like a fillable contract.
It's a little over 8. I think it's 8 point. It's actually he's making 8.9. 8.
Okay, yeah,
almost 8.8.
It's a contract filler. He's a good enough player where he can play 15 minutes on the NBA floor in a game. I don't think that's a bad contract. The Healed one, he's a little less serviceable because if he can't shoot, he can't be on the floor.
Lou Marston skiing down the slopes. We got to get some video of that for NorCal Sports Network. That kind of reminds me of the thrill of victory and
Mark
the agony.
It's a bad contract if you're rebuilding. Mark, we're not rebuilding. Until they trade Steph, you're never really rebuilding. That's kind of been the problem is they've been trying to do these 2 timeline things. A lot of people have been talking about it cover the Warriors. They're trying to rebuild with these young guys while also trying to not. It just doesn't. They got to pick a lane. Hey, they got to pick a lane just like the Giants.
No. Is he saying no New Orleans or no? I think he's saying no.
No New Orleans. Mark, I know you don't think New Orleans would make that trade, but why would New Orleans want to keep all these players? They're, what I've been hearing is they're trying to trade Zion, CJ, Dejounte, and they're trying to send out the whole team. They want to. That's what I heard. Haven't you been hearing that, Dan?
I haven't paid much attention, but I have heard about Zion. I have heard that in McCollum. I didn't know about Dejounte, but I do think they're done. They're 5-27. They're going nowhere. I don't know. This team can't score for many, many times. And then when Curry's out there, they just lock him up for the most part. Teams lock him up. That's why you've got to put Kuminga as the point forward. He's got to run the offense when Curry's out there. But what happens is Kerr doesn't want to play him. And I don't know if it's because Steph doesn't trust him out there. There could be some of that too, guys. I don't know. Steph may be like, I can't play with this guy because he's not where I need him to be. But Kuminga looks a little bit lost in the offense. Where he doesn't look lost is when he has the ball. You give him the ball. Right. He's a scorer. He's not a true basketball player yet. He's a scorer. He's talented. He's really needs to work on a few things. And the things he should be concentrating on most is his layups in traffic, the soft touch. He needs to work with Steph. When he gets to the hoop and he beats guys to the hoop, he needs to learn to float it up there and kiss it off the glass. What he does is he bricks it many times, and I've seen the ball go from one side of the glass to the other on his shots, and I'm like, how does that happen? That's because he doesn't have the touch. He's got to work on that constantly, start shooting it over TJD in practice, going up softly, kissing it off the glass. And then the other thing he needs to keep working on is his free throw shooting. Tonight he was 11 of 14. He's proven he's the only guy that gets calls for the Warriors. Steph doesn't get the calls. Kuminga can get 10 plus free throws a night if you let him run the offense and let him drive and kick it out when he needs to kick it out. But if he works on his soft game at the glass, he could be dangerous.
This is what Adrian. This is what I was saying. I was saying this earlier in the show. Looks like thanks for joining us, Adrian. It looks like we have the same idea. I was saying, especially late in games, I think that would be a really good 1-2 punch because you got Kuminga who can either decide to try basically what Draymond and Steph do, except Kuminga can actually score a lot more frequently out of that pick and roll instead of the fake handoff.
I'll just say this. I'm a little tired of this whole team as I look at it. I thought they started off well because when they had Melton, he seemed like the catalyst because all the guys were playing 10, 12 deep, and Melton was really good, and they were playing really hard, and their defense was feeding their offense. Melton gets hurt. Everything seemed to fall apart since then. The other thing that really irritates me is what I'm tired of is, look, they played the Sacramento Kings, twice in the last 2 years, correct? They played them in the 23 playoffs, and they won in the first round in that 7-game series. They won game 7 because Steph went off, scored 50 points in game 7.
Most points ever.
Then last year they play in the play-in, and, we're still talking about
Clay shot us out of the play-in, though.
Right, and you still got Draymond still just doing stuff Draymond. I don't think Draymond has the ability anymore to play great basketball, but only in short spurts. Maybe a game or
I like
two.
him as a sixth man. I liked when we were bringing him off the bench. He looked good off the bench. I think those were two of the games. The 2 of the 3 games we've won, Draymond was coming off the bench in this 15-game stretch. I think that's
we have 2 guys, Slow-Mo and Buddy Hield, that have played for 3 other teams, and now we see why. Not that good.
I disagree with you about Slow-Mo, Lou. Always have. You've never been a Slow-Mo guy. I don't think he's a great player, but I think he's fair for the price. He's a good bench piece.
I think Bill nails it.
What did you just say he gets paid, Dan?
8.7.
Yeah, that's a rookie contract, Lou.
The 2 timeline kept us holding on to the old guys too long. Yeah, I think so with Clay and
it's Clay and
Green.
Draymond. I think Steph still looks good when you need him. I mean, we just saw him against Christmas Day guys. I mean, in the Olympics, against OKC, against Celtics, against Minnesota. I can keep going down the line. Steph can look really good when he needs to. He just doesn't have Dan and I have talked about this a lot. He just doesn't have the energy he used to have to do it every single night. This isn't 2021, 2022, when he's still in his early 30s. And he can go and get you 32 points a game without Klay Thompson and a secondary scorer and lead the league in scoring. This isn't that. But he's still a really good player. And if you have a good secondary option, a real number 2, that's still there. I think, I think you get someone like a Dejounte. You trade for Dejounte Murray and Robert Williams, or this team's a whole different team. I think Joe Lacob needs to go and make some calls. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, I just think the team is going to move off of Kuminga. I think it's going to be a mistake because when they let him play and be the main focus, he's exciting to watch. He scores 30 plus. Look, he scored 33 the last time they were out. Tonight he scores 34. So he's obviously the guy. What he's showing you is that he can dominate when he's the main focal point. But when he's not, he doesn't fit in well because he's like a fish out of water when he doesn't have the ball, when he's running around in the offense, because he's a downhill player. So let him get that downhill. I mean, he's really, if you think about it, this is going to sound crazy. And I'm not comparing him to LeBron James, but he plays like a mini LeBron when he has the ball and he's running the offense. Because what does LeBron do? He just cruises downhill and he uses his body. Kuminga uses his speed and his not just his speed, but his quickness and his mobility to blow past guys. LeBron just powers through people. But the effect is that Kuminga's so young, if he can get better on those short in shots, I mean, LeBron's just big and powerful, and he's going to be able to do things that Kuminga can't do. And that's, overpower. But right now, I just don't think the Warriors players, and I'm talking Steph and Draymond, I don't think they really value Kuminga when they're playing. I think they love him when they're on the bench because they can see what he can do. But somebody's got to look at this and say, Kuminga needs to be playing 35 plus minutes a night. Played 37 tonight. He needs to be playing 35, and he needs to be running the offense as much as possible. Because when they needed to score tonight, he was the guy that was able to get them the points or kick it out to somebody that was wide open. So they had 3-point shooters that could shoot. It would be, they could have won that game if they had guys that can shoot. So,
yeah, Adrian, I completely agree. As all, we usually do seem to agree. But yeah, I think it's time for the Warriors to make some moves. Bottom line, I really don't think we need to go. It's Friday night, so we'll look at the next couple of games and we'll let you guys get out of here. But I completely agree, Adrian. I think that it's extremely important for the team to move on from some players immediately. And I think some of those guys I would move off of for sure is I would love to trade Pods. I would love it. I think he gets played way too much. Sometimes he looks good. I know I'm giving up on him early. Never was really sold on him too much. I thought he was going to be a really solid 6-man. Not even there with him because the problem is Steve Kerr just plays him way too much. Way, way too much. Got to get off Pods. Not even because he's a bad player, just because Steve Kerr overplays him for the type of player he is. So you have to move him. So, it's funny. Someone said this in the KNBR. I forget what it was. They said the problem with Steve Kerr, and I think he's a good coach too, but I agree with this analysis, is basically, he's a good coach, but you have to decide who you're going to get on the team or who you can or cannot based on who he's going to play. Because it's like he just doesn't play guys or he overplays guys. And I think until the team gets to a point with they're never gonna get to a point with that. So I just think they gotta trade some of these extra guards. We have like 6 guards. Let's get rid of like 3 of them.
Yes, I agree. Time to make some changes. Guys, we are going to be out of here. I can't find any exit music, so maybe we get none tonight.
What's the next game?
Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night?
Yeah, so we'll be back tomorrow, guys. Quick prediction, man.
We got to be back tomorrow night talking Warriors again.
I think it's going to be a good game. Steph's going to be playing, so it'll be entertaining for sure.
Steph will be playing. Green will be playing. KD will be playing.
Maybe we get another slap. You never know.
Yeah. There we go. All right, everybody.
Tomorrow's 5:30, so it should be on around 8:15, everybody.
Yep, 8:15 tomorrow night, guys. Good to see you, Ron. Happy New Year to everybody. I guess we'll say it again tomorrow night. Hope you guys are enjoying your holidays. Lou Marston on assignment in Reno, enjoying the slopes. Guys, we appreciate you being here. We'll be back tomorrow night. Everybody give this a like if you would. Not too many people in our Warrior chats right now, but we're growing it. So if you give it a like, it really helps actually push it out more. So please give it a like. We appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody. See you tomorrow.